Hello, my friends, family, esteemed colleagues. My friend John, brother in arms, asked me to make a video, an article about lupus. He said that I have mentioned it, which I know. I speak about it or mention it very often, so I thought that I have addressed this issue separately, though he reminds me that this was not done. And many people suffer from lupus, so I decided to make a video specifically about this so-called autoimmune disease. And the best way to start, again, we go to the experts of soyence to see what they are telling people and what they themselves know lupus is all about. So let's have a look. Okay, my friends, so where is the best way to start? Well, Lupus Foundation of America. And as you can see, lupus here has a question mark to it. And the main thing on the whole page is highlighted. Donation, donate. Because, you know, we are the foundations of America for lupus. We are the outmost experts and we are the ones that are doing the most to help people with this problem. Okay, resource center on lupus. Okay, so what do they say lupus is? Lupus is a chronic long-term disease that can cause inflammation and pain in parts of our body. It's autoimmune disease, which means that your immune system, the body system that usually fights infections, attacks healthy tissue instead. Okay, well, I pointed that this doesn't exist. So lupus can affect skin, joints, kidneys, parts of the body, whatever. So they now fragmented lupus in different types. So we have a systematic lupus, which is the most common, that affects many of the systems of the body. Cutaneous lupus that will affect skin. And then they tell you, well, drug-induced lupus. Drugs can induce lupus. Neonatal lupus, rare condition affecting children born of women with lupus. Okay, who is developing lupus? Not women, racial, ethnic groups. We'll discuss this. What causes lupus? Okay, no one knows what causes lupus. The experts are experts of not knowing. Okay, so, but lupus and other autoimmune diseases do run in families. Nobody knows, but statistics shows us. Again, statistics is used as a major provider of information. How can that be in a science? Well, of course, it's not science, it's soyence. Environmental triggers, okay, we'll skip all that stuff. Easy symptoms of lupus, early symptoms of lupus, okay. Okay, so what does this organization tell us about what is systematic lupus? What are the symptoms? Skin rashes, pain or swelling in joints, arthritis, swelling in the feet, round eyes, extreme fatigue, low fevers. Okay, what are these symptoms of? Blood toxicity. Okay. Can symptomatic lupus look different for different people? Of course, yes. The way lupus happens and symptoms it causes can vary a lot from person to person. Why? Because they have different toxicity. Well, they don't mention this because they have no idea what causes lupus. And then because of the system showing more in certain parts of the body, so they have lupus nephritis, neuropsychological lupus, childhood lupus, just inventing stupidities. Okay, now, when we know what the doctors know, and Foundation of America, people that collect money to supposedly know most and help most people, now you can see it's all scam. How can someone help you who has no clue about what they're doing? All right, so we have enough of soyence. Let's go to science. Okay, my friends, so here we are. I made already the video, and then I decide to take it out and redo it, because this is lupus is very good health issue called disease, on which I can show you that diseases do not exist, that lupus is not a disease, since diseases do not exist, and using the words of a medical professional stating that diagnosing lupus is difficult because signs and symptoms vary considerably from person to person. Okay, and symptoms of lupus may change over time and overlap with those of many other disorders or diseases. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you progress of symptoms of toxic body. And those of you suffering from lupus are going to find yourself reliving your health issues through the years. Now, great majority of people suffering from lupus are women. They say 7 out of 10. And those women suffering from this health issue are between the age of 15 and 45. Now, what is characteristic of that age? Women of that age are in readiness of create life. So they started menstruating. Before we hit the menstrual cycle, what happened with this woman that suffers so-called disorder called, or disease, autoimmune disease called lupus? Most likely she was born of toxic mother. And as a baby, suffered from diarrhea, nausea, colds, runny nose, and received those protective things, zumzulas. Most likely, as a baby, developed skin problems, itchy skin, inflammations, and then stuffy nose, coughing. And she was treated by 07 agents, those with license to kill, suppressing these symptoms. And they may feel better for a while and then pop again. So as they are growing, now they are starting having digestive problems. They're starting to have more skin problems, bad skin, as a young children, fragile, and having not good concentration in the school. Always keeping aside because they didn't have that energy as other children would have. Then what happens? Then they start menstruating. And the menstrual cycles become painful. Why? Because they are becoming gradually more and more toxic. Whenever they tried to cleanse, symptoms of cleansing are symptoms of flu. Runny nose, runny eyes, itchy skin, fever. They were suppressed with toxic medication, putting the body into defensive mode. When cells are in defensive mode, they are not hydrating and they are not cleansing. They are closed down. And this way, they continue dehydrating on a cellular level. These children usually eat vegetables. They are forced to eat vegetables, which further poisons their body, turning them into ketogenic, into glucoholic state more and more. And now when they start menstruating, they start losing blood, which means they are losing plasma. And they are already dehydrated. So worse situations start worsening. Not only that menstrual cycles are painful because blood is toxic, they develop most likely cysts, cystic breasts, painful to touch, and ovaries, problematic, could be tumors there, growths, cysts. And again, doctors focus on these things with more medication. Again, suppression, and further poisoning of the body. Because of the toxic level rising over to the third level, to the level of detox through the skin, the typical inflammations on the skin come. Now, because the face is exposed more to the sunlight and more to the heat, there will be faster circulation there to cool down the skin, while brings more toxicity. And what we have? Rashes on the face. It's going to be like a butterfly redness, inflammation. But it doesn't have to be just here. It could happen in different parts of the body, but most commonly here. And this is when doctor says, oh, definitely lupus, because this is a sign. This is a sign of toxic body, very dehydrated. And now what happens with these young women? They may at the beginning bleed more profusely, but then they bleed less and less because the body simply cannot part with plasma anymore. While children, before menstruation, the same children may experience nosebleeds because this is one outlet body can open to get rid of toxic blood. And this could happen to boys and girls. But these nosebleeds would stop when women start menstruating, because now they are going to be cleansing through uterus, through menstruation. But as they are on a wrong diet and deprived of salt, they cannot rebuild the lost plasma. So they steadily get more dehydrated, and every time some symptom shows up, well, it's being then pronounced, well, this is a skin problem, slap it with some title of a name, eczema or whatever, and smear it with toxic cream to suppress it, to put cells in the defensive mode, so toxins don't go out there anymore. Skin comes down a little bit, but toxins keep accumulating in the body. And as women get more and more dehydrated, menstruation becomes more painful, because body's trying, it's like trying to vomit when you don't have anything in the stomach. It's painful. You're trying and nothing comes out. Well, same is with menstruation. So pills are being used, analgesic, to help with the pain, anti-inflammatory to help with the pain, because inflammations that are caused in these dehydrated areas are painful. It is all medicinal. This is why it doesn't matter if you are using pharmaceutical poison or natural plant-based poison. You are doing exactly the same thing. You are suppressing the symptom. And this is why, once even when diagnosed, let's say you come with a butterfly rash and unmistakably you are diagnosed 100% you have lupus, but you may go in remission. Why? Because the medical stuff that you are being bombarded with may force body into lockdown and suppress the symptoms. But there will come a point where you won't be able to suppress the symptom anymore, because blood is already so toxic, tissue is so toxic, that what more toxins you throw in it, it is not going to be able to affect the body anymore. And this is what they call the most dangerous stage of lupus, because it does not react anymore with medicinal remedies, and which makes it very dangerous. And this is proof that it is autoimmune, because now body is attacking itself. It's not attacking itself, it simply cannot function. And toxic body, low on blood plasma, cannot create enough urine. Body is holding the liquid in glomerule and in bladder as long as possible before eliminating, so this way it gets more concentrated, so you detoxify, wasting less plasma. But at the same time, these toxic elements are staying in the kidneys longer, they are staying in the bladder longer. They are very acidic, they are very toxic, they are poisoning the kidneys, they are poisoning the bladder. And your urinate, it starts burning because it's loaded with acid, and doctors go, yippee, bacteria, it's an infection, we gotta take antibiotic and kill the crap out of it. it is blamed that when we have these strong stages of lupus, lupus destroys kidney. How can symptom destroy organ? Lupus is a bunch of symptoms. It's not a disease. It's not zomzula. It's not bacteria. It's not fungus. Colleagues, you yourself state that culprit is unknown. So, unknown culprit is destroying the kidney. It is destroying the skin. It is destroying bladder. It is destroying prostate in men. In women, it's destroying uterus. It's destroying breast. It's a toxin which keeps accumulating because every time body tries to let it out, the 007 agents with license to kill stop it, stop the process, because they call this disease. Body is having fever, high temperature. Why? It's trying to sweat and push the toxins through the skin. But fever, no, this is disease. We gotta stop it. Body tries to vomit garbage out. No, there's disease. We gotta stop this vomiting. There goes medicinal remedy. So body goes with diarrhea, tries to push it out. No, diarrhea is bad. No diarrhea. Take a charcoal. But what charcoal does? It just absorbs it and holds it in the freaking body. It's not about stopping the diarrhea. It's not about stopping the vomiting. It's not about stopping the rash. It's not about stopping the mucus. It is about allowing toxins to go out, and this is how toxins leave the body. And yes, it dehydrates the body. This is why we have to replenish the lost plasma, because we are not losing water. We are using plasma. Body has no water. It has plasma, electroconductive liquid, which is ionized water, but we call it plasma, water with salts. What is common with people with lupus? Water retention. Because the tissue is so toxic that whenever plasma goes there, becomes highly toxic and is prevented to rejoin the circulation, not to increase already a toxicity of already toxic blood, which would cause other symptoms. What are these symptoms of strong toxicity of the blood? Headache. They all suffer from headache, migraines. They cannot concentrate. The brain cannot memorize, cannot work, because it's toxic blood. Blurred vision. All symptoms of toxic blood. Lupus is not causing it. Lupus doesn't exist. It's our fiction. No disease exists. We are labeling symptoms that body is producing as a disease, but great majority of those symptoms are symptoms of toxic blood and detox of this toxic blood. And every chronic disease will have a bunch of those symptoms. And then additional, like lupus, okay, the redness, red butterfly around your face. 100% lupus. But what's the difference, how you call it? You can call each of those symptoms, call them as a separate disease. But surely it is not autoimmune and it is not genetic. It is manufactured by doctors, by suppression of natural body's programs to cleanse and detoxify the body. Because we call these diseases or symptoms of diseases. We can go here again to symptoms. Symptoms of lupus: fatigue, tiredness, toxic blood, toxic body, fever, toxic blood, body raises temperature to counter some toxins and also try to induce sweating. After we sweat, we always feel better because we release a bunch of toxins from the blood. Joint pain, stiffness, swelling, toxin trap in joints, causing pain. It's a chronic process. It affects cells. Cells dehydrate, which makes the cartilage much spongier, softer, and there is no lubrication because water is not coming out. It's dehydrated. So joint, when moving, it's overheating, and body is trying to solve this situation by releasing liquid from the tissue around the joint, since the cartilage directly is not squirting water out. And body is trying to mobilize it. By swelling, it's trying to mobilize it. Don't move the joint because you are going to make it worse. It's a natural process. Body is trying to control itself the best it can, but we interfere with it. What do? Okay, this liquid makes you feel stiff, you cannot move, so let's suck the crap out, and you see, now you can move. Well, go. Go and injure yourself deeper, because now you're going to be moving and grinding the cartilage and grind it off, and you go bone to bone, and then we'll say, well, sorry, but this is a deterioration of the body. We have to replace a joint with a metal or plastic ball. And nonsense. Pure nonsense. Symptoms: butterfly-shaped rash on face, skin lesions, shortness of breath. Of course, you are producing mucus. You cannot breathe well. Mucosal tissue is not only in digestive system, but also your respiratory system, from your sinuses. And these children all also suffer from sinus problems, runny nose, runny eyes, a lot of problems with glands, coughing, and phlegm, and asthma. This is how it all starts. Headaches, confusion, memory loss. So, this is how lupus develops. It's easy remedy: salt and water. That's all you need: salt and water. But God forbid you take salt, because you also will suffer from a higher blood pressure. But even if you don't have it yet, your kidneys do not work properly. Well, how can they work properly when they don't have enough plasma to work with? So the thing, what we are being told, well, lupus affects kidneys, and kidneys get destroyed, even worse with salt, because they will retain more liquid, so nonsense. We are being told bunch of stupid lies, and we gobble it like there is no tomorrow, like it's a cat's meow. Oh, we are scientists. We know everything. Everything we are told is a lie, and everything we know is a nonsense. This is why I state that doctors create more misery and kill more people than all the wars and all the accidents put together. Because every time doctors see a patient, he starts poisoning it. From the first Zumzula thing on, every treatment is poison. And the so-called alternative therapy based on medicinal poisons is no different. It could be different if it's treated by shamans, because shamans understand the plants, and shamans know the body needs to purge. So they give you, as soon as you come, doesn't matter with what problem. First you go to purge. Even if you want to take ayahuasca, before ayahuasca you go and purge, if it is good shaman. Or some shamans use pure ayahuasca without chacruna just for purging, because it's toxic, very toxic. So if you just drink the ayahuasca without chacruna in it, because chacruna is the one with DMT, it's a leaf. Ayahuasca is liana. So first you drink ayahuasca, you vomit, you purge, and then you drink the ayahuasca with chacruna, which is normally what you do is in ceremony when you have visions. Unfortunately, many ayahuasqueros are also putting their hallucinogens to please the public and abuse people, because there is a lot of groping going on and other stuff, which I'm well aware of because I know what ayahuasqueros do here. And this is why I only use one ayahuasquera that I trust, and Christina, and she does very traditional ayahuasca. Has to be done correctly, otherwise she does not want to know about you. No improvisation. Anyway, so talking about diseases is nonsense, because they do not exist. We are always talking about poisoning. Even genetic manipulation, genetic problems are created through poisoning. Gene editing, what do? They're poisoning to create different genetic reaction. And mothers that have children that were born in defect, well, mothers were poisoned. It was well known that you don't put Zumzula to a pregnant woman, because you'll be poisoning the child, which means doctor know it's a poison. But now, the more the merrier, because now the goal is depopulation. So anything goes. And doctors still obey the orders. No remand trials, take no prisoners. I was told to do it. It's not good enough. It's not good enough, my friends. I'm not looking for vengeance, but it's heartbreaking what's going on. So, those of you having symptoms, any of the symptoms of chronic disease, but especially if you have been diagnosed with lupus, even if you don't change diet, start, but slowly, start taking water with sea salt, because you are extremely toxic on every level, which means as the blood plasma increases, more lymph is going to be produced, and it will be trapped in a toxic tissue, causing water retention. So you'll have more water retention. You will need to use medicinal remedies to tackle this, to force the body to eliminate. These toxins are not life-threatening, but program is such that prohibits toxic lymph joining blood, if blood is toxic, in higher rate, not to increase the blood toxicity. And this causes water retention. Since these toxins are not life-threatening, but programming controlled, well, you have to override the program by increasing the toxicity of the blood in a level where the toxicity of a retained liquid is less problematical than the toxicity which is already in the blood, and this time the body will allow to use this less toxic lymph to eliminate the higher toxic things from the blood through most likely diarrhea, but also urination. This is why you will have to achieve diarrhea and maintain the diarrhea. And you will not need much salt because you are already highly toxic. Just increasing even water, you will start triggering diarrhea. But it's always good to put a little bit of salt, sea salt, always only sea salt, not refined, without added iodine. Remember, government doesn't care about your health. Contrary, it's a servant of evil. So it will do the opposite. Whatever government does for your benefit or our benefit, it is doing it for benefit of those that control us, and they don't have our health in mind. They want the population. They want us gone. So why do you think they are putting iodine in the salt? Why do you think they are saying iodine is so good, you need to load up yourself with iodine? Because they know it's not true. But scientists gabble, oh no, you need to have this amount of iodine, you need this amount of vitamin D, you need this. Baloney. Baloney. And I have proven it through my experience and experience many of my friends following self-healers protocol and healing left and right. Everybody is healing. In Slovenia, so many people are following me that it becomes a problem for pharmaceutical industry and for politicians. So now they are attacking those who are promoting self-healers protocol. Well, I hope that people around the world soon find out the truth and they start healing themselves. Because for shit sure, doctors will not heal them. And yes, the medbeds are coming. And thank God, because we all need healing. We are now in the end times. The old system is crumbling very fast, and now with Trump becoming legally boss again, the revelation will come. The war was happening all this time. And now all we need the truth to come out. Because war is just about over. And I hope it's going to happen this month, if not next month. Timing, I'm terrible with timing because nobody knows the time. It's all event driven. As events occur, we absorb them. How long it takes us to absorb it, that's how time is created. But we are absorbing everything faster and faster, and time is flying. Unfortunately, you know, I hear often, well, we are fighting the 1%. Well, we have to go out and deal with 1%. Who is coming out? When almost nobody is awake. Thank God for this handful of awake souls that created the Q movement, these generals and the truth bearers that started the light, started the fire. And these few people were enough to take down the evil system. The rest of the majority is going to wake up when it's all done, when they will be shown what actually happened while they were sleeping. Well, I'm sorry, guys, for those of you who have missed the train, because it was very interesting to watch what is going on. Many times I had tears in my eyes. Could not believe that it is possible to damage this evil system so intelligently with such a small loss of life. It's really incredible. Okay, let's leave politics to politicians, but awakening is getting a little stronger. Now we just have to show people that these religions they cling to are all cabal religions, all these one God religions, the Muslims, the Catholics, the Jews, all the fractures of these fractions. They are all created so we fight each other and accept rule of a few, which are God chosen. Bible said so. Hi, so much there to absorb. Well, now, as far as medicine goes, those that suffer from lupus, I don't know if you can grasp, I try to make it very simple explanation. You can get more detailed explanation from all these processes if you watch other videos of mine, or if you, every end of the video has my site. Link is there to link to my WordPress site, and in the search window you can always put in the keyword of what you want to know, and articles about it will come out. There are more than 1,500 articles there. Videos, I don't know how many hundreds of videos I have. Many were taken down already, but there are plenty of videos there about various topics. It all comes to the same thing. It's all about correcting the diet and hydrating correctly with plasma, with electroconductive liquid, water with minerals, seawater, diluted seawater. Can't get simpler than that. And this is why doctors have to be drilled 5 years in medical school through stupid fake studies and biochemistry, fake biochemistry, to prove things, to indoctrinate the mind of thinking in a certain way, so that when the truth starts showing up through experience, we ignore what we see and we continue following the soyence we have been brainwashed with. Unfortunately, this is the truth. And this is another reason why I want all licensing abolished. Just 300 years ago, nobody had any license. 200 years ago, 100 years ago, you have your horse. You hop on a horse, you go wherever you want. All of a sudden, you buy a mechanical horse. Now you have to have it registered. You have to have it inspected. You have to have a license so you can use it for traveling. Even though in official maritime law, this is not true. You only need registration and license if you use this thing for commerce, if you make money with it. Because politicians that create laws, they want to rob you some of your profit. But then politicians figure out, wow, why to rob only those that make money? Why not rob everybody? So nobody can go and use their vehicles, their transportation, unless they pay us for license to do it. And everybody has to have it registered. This way we control exactly what are they going to be using, and we'll make additional laws and make it more difficult and just suck money, suck money, suck. Every license is for sucking money, keeping us under control. You want to be free? No license. We don't need licenses. We don't need a stupid badges. No one has the right to stop me on the street and ask me personal information. No one. No matter what they are suspecting me of. But government says they can do whatever they want to do. It's for national security. It's for your security. Policemen will kill you, so you are safe. Most of them are hoodlums. Everywhere I see crime, police is involved in it. Everywhere. Or almost everywhere. There's always exception. It's like saying all grass is green. Well, not all the time and not always, but mostly grass is green. You see crime, you will find policemen involved in it. One way or the other, police is involved, because otherwise they know everybody. It's their business to know everybody. They know exactly who commits crimes. When my car was stolen in Croatia, in Zagreb, and when I, through my channels, discovered who did it, I informed police. They were not interested to go to get the car. They will start attacking me. Who gave me the information? Huh? They wanted to get to the snitcher. Because why? Why? Because they are freaking involved. It's everywhere. No licenses. Okay, my friends. I will leave you with this. Love you very much. God bless us all. Get ready for this final events that's going to happen very soon. And namaste.